Hey, take a look at this pack real quick, because I got, what, 8 seconds on the clock? I'm taking Go for the Throat, passing an Infect Fight. There you go. Hey, sorry, got started a little late. I always make sure to activate my recorder right as the draft starts. So I get about 10 seconds to make my pick. So what happened in that last pack was, this is an 8-4, by the way, Vito Giswaldi here, for draftmagic.com. So that last pack, let's talk about it. We passed a Blight Widow and a Flesh Eater Imp. So we can kind of put people in a pretty savage little fight going that way. If they want to fight over Infect, that's their prerogative, man. Meanwhile, I don't mind going regular black. I love taking Dross Rippers. They come around late because people don't want them because they're playing Infect. This pack is a little hard to figure out. I like Blue Sun. It shuffles in. It's going to find you cards. I mean, you can pay this for the same as Trigon and immediately get 2 cards out of it and shuffle it back in. It's a little pricey. It's not as aggressive as I like to get. That being said, Quicksilver Geyser, one of my favorite cards, and I'm perfectly happy with snatching this one up. I know they tend to come around a little later, but that's just how I play it. Third pick, Rotwolf, we're going to let it go by. Skinwing is kind of interesting, but I don't know. It's a flyer. It costs 4. The ability is obviously good. It's really between that and Dross Ripper. As I've said, I love this card because if you have mana open, I mean, who's going to block your 4/4? And you don't have to pump it. It just is an attacker from hell, and it kind of fits perfectly with things like Quicksilver Geyser. That being said, this guy obviously pretty strong. It's a 4-cost 2/2 flyer, which is usually more than enough. So it's between this guy and Dross Ripper. I'm gonna assume that Evasion will be a little bit better than Dross Ripper, especially based on the fact that if I get to 6, I can usually put another guy in the air and get where I'm going. This one between Dross Ripper and Peace Strider, that kind of sucks because I like both of these cards. In the abstract, I think Peace Strider's a little stronger, and hopefully we can wheel one of those Dross Rippers. And of course, who knows, we might end up getting away from black, so it's a safer pick. Now I wish I had taken that stupid other thing. So here I'm seeing a late Sky Hunter, which kind of makes me want to go dip into white, get really aggressive. Then again, we're not committed to blue. I don't think actually blue is showing up that well. Could stay on target with Morbid Plunder. I really don't like this card that much. It tends to be kind of slow. I mean, if you want to win the late game, though, it's pretty good. But I don't need another Skinwing, and I kind of want to solidify that black, which I think is showing up for us. Green's showing up a little bit too, but we don't need to fight for both Infect colors. I would happily play something like Nested Ghoul. Yeah, that's a late Sky Hunter. I feel like I'm willing to take a risk on it. Shimmermere is interesting, but if I see another Sky Hunter or something similar, I'm going to want it. None of these cards are particularly interesting. Sometimes I will play Rusted Slasher. Now there's an Ogre Resistor, which I like this card. I mean, my 4 slot's obviously stocked up, but 4 slot is kind of my favorite in these packs. It's also Lead the Stampede, which is interesting. But given that there's not a lot here, I can dip in a red, see what happens. There's that Tangle Hulk. Can't really figure out what my second color is. This is all garbage. Maybe red for my second color. That came pretty late. I don't tend to play Bladed Sentinels. But then again, there was the Sky Hunter. So this is a little all over the place. We're not really seeing super strong signals. I'm sad I let 2 Dross Rippers go to take the Skinwing, but and the Peace Strider obviously. We'll see. Well, I mean, I know my 4 slot is already full of guys, but I'm not going to pass Molten Tail Masticore. Darkslick Drake would have been the pick if we wanted to get back into blue. There's no real black here. Let's just take a great 4-drop. This is an interesting pack. The Revoke Existence. Artifact removal is what it is. I think Palladium Mirror is a very safe pick, especially given how many 4-drop artifacts we already have that we may want to play. This card, in the abstract, has won me a ton of games. Darksteel Axe, not something I'm usually too interested in. Alright, I think that'll put me in white. Again, it's another 4-drop, but that's a very good signal to us, as well as a Sky Guard. White was kind of open from the right, so I think we're going to end up white-black here. And there's a turn to slag. Well, maybe we'll end up red, because that is a late turn to slag. Tranny, if we had taken Darksteel Axe, we'd be really happy about that. Well, we're not going to spin it. We may be moving away from white. It's possible there's a safe pick and a quarter shield, but we're going to keep ourselves open. Oh, I was looking at a spoiler. So let's see. White, I think, is a possibility. Blue's out. Blue's completely out, and green's completely out. Can I get a real color sort here? We like black. Though, again, we're not actually committed to black either. We have Bladed Sentinel for white. Training Drone's not anything I like. Let's see. Morbid Plunder go for the throat has me leaning towards definitely playing. I think black-white has me pretty happy. Though, turn to slag was obviously a piece of removal, so I'm going to keep my options open. I mean, white would be a better color for something like Rusted Slasher. You can usually get stuff like Origin Spellbomb to sack to it. Okay, so here we see really nothing. Blister Grub is playable. We're not going after green at this point. Daredevil is not exciting, neither is Urn. Definitely not Semblance Anvil. Really the only card we would maybe play out of this is going to be Grub. But that was definitely an unsexy pack. Embersmith, okay. So I think we're definitely red. That's obvious. Seeing Embersmith and turn to slag, and now Panic Spellbomb. Well, there is also the option of Painsmith. Painsmith over Spellbomb seems pretty reasonable. We're not trying to get Metalcraft going. And this guy can occasionally be a beating. So, Glimmer Point Stag, yeah, it was kind of a one-off. So that means we'd also not play Bladed Sentinel, which I don't like anyway. And everything else is pretty playable. Concussive Bolt ain't great, but whatever. Not a lot here for me. I could take Trigon of Thought. I could take Edgewright on the weird chance that we open some crazy white bomb and really want to get into it. Let's see, cost sort. How are my 2-drops? Decent. I don't need Daredevil. Then again, I don't need Trigon of Thought or Riddlesmith or any of that garbage. Theoretically, I could play Trigon. I don't want to see Sunchaser punch my face in. Oh, I want to take the land. But I'll take Bladed Pinions, especially because I have 2 Smiths right now. Hellion is an interesting top-end card, but I think Heartstoker is a little more reliable, especially since I'd rather play Nested Ghoul, and I don't want to play anything above that. Not going to play Golden Urn. I don't think. Take Sea Strider away from somebody. Maybe Daredevil makes the cut. More Glimmer Posts. And some Swamp. This is looking pretty decent. We've got 2 pieces of solid removal, a bomb in the form of Molten Tail Masticore, and a lot of decent beaters. And we open a Scrap Melter. As much as we like Chimeric Mass, I think we know that this card is fantastic. So let's snatch it up. This deck's looking better and better. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Somebody is my best friend. Oh, we need Mir. We have to get to this 4 slot and beat people to death with it. What's better than opening Scrap Melter and immediately getting his big brother, Skin Render? Awesome. Just awesome. Oh, that feels so good. Wow, another Volition Reigns, huh? Well, my 4 slot's stocked up. I don't want Chrome Steed. I'm not going to hate Volition Reigns, as annoying as it might get. I think an off-color Mir is not only going to work with both my Smiths, but get me to my 4 slot, so happy to snatch it up. Another turn to slag. Oh, Grasp of Darkness. What am I talking about? That's a lot of removal. That's a lot of removal. I got a deck already. I could be happy just playing this pile right here. I guess Concussive Bolt is probably not going to make the cut. Shatter. Well, if I took Silvermere, I could splash the bounce, but I just think Shatter is more reliable. This could be a sideboard card. This deck's looking pretty good. Two of the best uncommons in the format and a big ol' bomb. And enough removal to hopefully deal with anything I see. Wow, yeah, this looks real good. I mean, Morbid Plunder next to Scrap Melter and Skin Render, kind of best friends forever. Interestingly, Nested Ghoul plus Embersmith could prove to be a late game combo. I'd like to make room for Nested Ghoul. I think that card is pretty good, and I don't really want to play either of these, so... Or Concussive Bolt. I tend to like a Quarter Shield in this kind of deck. Like, who's going to stop a 3-6 beating in? I can definitely make room for Shield. And again, with the 2 drops there, we're not going to play Daredevil. I think we know that. 2 last cards to replace. Well, Blister Grub, Koth's Courier, and Rusted Slasher are all a little weak. So, we'll see. Maybe we pick up some late things to replace them, or maybe take a look at stuff that we've put in the sideboard. Nothing I want. I don't want Dispense Justice to hit my guys, and Arbiter is not worth anything. I'm not going to play Nihil Spellbomb, so I don't want to be attacking with my team and have them suddenly taken out. We will play Reaver, however, over Blister Grub. Could we find room for Bleak Coven Vampires, or would we rather have Blade Tribe Berserkers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not a great number of artifacts, though I'm never going to bring in 2 Darksteel Mirror, I don't think. Maybe could find room for this at the top end. Do I need the 2-drop? I don't think I'm going to play it, but if somebody really wants to main deck Loxodon Warfare, that's their call. Don't want Bonds to hit me, and both of these cards are pretty bad. I always wonder if that guy has good sideboard, if there's like an Argentum Armor. But he costs 6. It's a decent body, though. 4/4s are great in this format. But for 6, I think you can usually get something better. Okay, so I think we got a deck in here. Let's make it happen. That guy, nope. Rusted Slasher, we'll see. I don't want to play you too terribly, since it doesn't look like we have a lot to sack to you, but I'm sure we'll find out. Let's see. So these are all cards I would play pretty much regardless of what happened in my life. So let's see my curve. 3 slot, you are missing things. Let's see. Koth's Courier, fine body. Faravor, I have the ability to put him in the air. Aside from that, he's just kind of a decent body. Complete Darksteel Mirror. It's always a pretty decent blocker. I mean, if you play against Infect, it kind of sucks, and given that there's usually 2 Infect decks at the table, I don't usually like to main him, because he can just be useless in those situations. Let's see, Darksteel Mirror. It gives me the possibility of turning on Bleak Coven Vampire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, given that I have 2 Smiths, I really should try and find room for some artifacts. I could actually play Tangle Hulk, given that I have Copper Mirror. I could play a Forest. It's interesting. It's not great. But I don't think Bleak Coven Vampires is ever going to do... I mean, I love that ability, but I don't think it's going to happen, you know? There you go, Mirror, Tangle Hulk, and if this guy comes down as a 5/3, he's still a decent beater. Yeah, Bolt's not going to go off Bleak Coven, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Some guy... Hey, broke American. I'm in the middle of something. Yeah, I don't need any more 2-drops. I have 3 2-drops and stacks of removal there. So these things don't really interest me. Anything with 1 toughness these days, you better be pretty good for me to want to play you, just because you attack into somebody and they play Master's Call. It's like Grub would be my card to take Darksteel Mirror out for, but I don't think Blister Grub is going to get me where I'm going. And though I do like Rusted Slasher, again, we're very low on things we could sack to it. So I think this is the correct build. What do you think? 9/8. Double black, double black, double black, double red, double red, double red. Okay. I have black early, I have 1 red early, but then I have double. Okay. I guess slightly more black is just fine. Oh wait, what do I want to play the Forest for Tangle Hulk? That's a tough call. I mean, I have double black, double green. Double red, double black. I gotta hit. I already have Copper Mirror. His regeneration ability is decent. Well, it's better than decent. It's actually pretty okay. But then the odds of hitting something like Grasp of Darkness gets a little worse. Huh. I think with the level my deck's at, having a regenerating Tangle Hulk is not going to break the game wide open. And we can always just put Quarter Shield or Bladed Pinions on him, and he really doesn't need that ability at that point. So, let's submit, and hopefully we get there. You know what, I'm looking at this, and with the amount of removal we have, I kind of just want to keep punching people. Darksteel Mirror will be a sideboard card if somebody, comes in. But the fact that I can play these things down, get things out of the way, and keep swinging means I really don't want to be playing a 0/1. Interesting enough, I'm in the draft with this kid, Broke American, who, if you read my Scars and Mirrodin draft log number 1, I soundly beaten to the ground with some card. I forget what it was. So let's see if I end up playing him first again. Well, that kind of is interesting. I am playing him first again. His chance to avenge himself. Avenge yourself.